Hi, I'm Sue Boo, bringing crafting to you. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you are not a subscriber, please subscribe and press the notification bell so you won't miss any of my future uploads. Today, I'm just going to quickly show you that in the month of October, if you use my hostess code as my free gift to you personally, I am going to give you a pack to make 3 gift tags. So this is the gold version, and that's what the tag looks like inside, but you've the ribbons here to add to the tags. So you get everything you need to make the tags. You just have to put your own sentiments, and I'll show you in the silver one. So you have to put your own sentiments. The ribbon and everything will be supplied, as will all the things that you need to make the tag with. As I say, the only thing that I cannot send is the pre-done sentiments. So you'd have to do your own sentiments here, and here. This will not be cut out in case your sentiment is larger than this. So I think I've given you about a 2x2 piece of card for that. And of course it's longer here so that you can cut it to your size. And this is about this size. So you get everything to make 3 beautiful tags. Everything's done for you. The scoring, every piece is cut out for you, so all you've got to do is assemble it, and there is a video on how to assemble. All you've got to do when you shop with me, say silver or gold. So this is the silver one, and this is the gold one. So just drop me a line if you want one of those when you've placed an order with me, and I will post those on to you. Plus, depending on how much you spend, you will get a Stampin' Up product as well. I'm not bothered with that now. Okay, so you'd have to use this code. If you go Stampin' Up and you put in that code, that's unique to me, so it'll bring you to my shop. So thank you very much. There we go. Right, so today we are going to make another alternative project, and today wouldn't be me if I didn't do any 3D projects. So I'm possibly going to use this, which is out of the set. So it's the it's the Impressions in Ink. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut right down the score line. So I've just got a unrecord blank. I'm putting it in at 4 1/4 because that's where the line is, and I'm just going to cut that off. So we've got that piece that we're going to put on one side. Then going to just take out my cutting blade because I don't want to cut into this, and we're going to score it at 1 1/4 all the way round. So I'm just going to score it at 1 1/4, and we'll see how much this gives us. 1 1/4. Let's say all the way around. That's 1 1/4. There we go. And then we're just going to score at 1/4 inch. So you're going to go around now and just score at 1/4 inch all the way round. I just like my box edge finished off, and just by doing even just 1/4 inch will give me that finishing edge that I prefer. Okay, so we're going to make up our box first. So I'll just move my trimmer out of the way and bring in my scissors. So we're going to cut up. So I'm going to cut up the score line here like that, and then I'm going to slightly wedge in that side, and I'll wedge in that side just to the score line, and then this little bit here I'm just going to cut off. And then this little piece here, I will just wedge down to the score line like that. Okay, so then I'm going to turn and wedge this little piece here to the first score line, so you get that. Then I'll wedge here to the first score line. Then I'm going to cut down the score line. So I've cut down from there, and then I'm just going to wedge this outer side here, and then wedge this one here just down to the score line. What I love our scissors is they cut right to the tip, so they are specifically made for paper crafting, so they are great snips. Okay, so I've just wedged in that little bit. I'm going to wedge in this little bit and then cut down this score line here, and then I'm going to again wedge in here and wedge in here down to that score line, and then cut that little bit off and then turn it, and then I'll wedge to the score line there, and I'm going to wedge to the score line there, cut down the score line here like that, and then again we're going to wedge to that one there. Let me just wedge right down. I slipped a bit and didn't wedge right down. Wedge to this one down here and cut off this little bit here on the tab, and spin it around and just cut the tab there. So now this is what I call the windmill. So you can see that it goes all the way round. I like to do the windmill effect. So now we're going to build our box. So just move my pieces to one side, and I'm just going to burnish all my score lines now. Now if you didn't want your box plain, you could actually just stamp before you start. You could use your stamps that come with the set to just make a pretty pattern inside. So wish I'd done that. I've thought about it now and didn't do it. So I suppose really we could still do it, but to save time I'm not going to today. But that's something you could do to make the inside of your box pretty. Okay, so it won't just be white. Right, so now I'm going to use my red liner tape. Oh, and it's been coming undone and sticking to things all the time, so that's a nuisance. So turn it on its side here, and I just put a little bit right up against that fold. So put it right up, and then I swap to my old scissors, because I don't like to cut anything with my best scissors, because they're excellent scissors that I like to keep them because they stay sharp to cut my ribbon at the moment anyway. So that's that. Cut that to there and just turn it round. So I'm just doing the windmill effect, just turning it round to actually make this. So this is going to be a little treat box. I'm going to fill it with little treats in a minute. Okay, so this would work for Christmas, just to give somebody as a little treat. Right, once I've done that side, I'm then going to turn it over, and I'm going to put red liner tape on all these little ones now. So we're going to undo that, and I'm going to do that. Okay, and cut this, go around the edges of here. And this actually is 1/4 of an inch tape, so it just fits perfectly for this. You can get thicker and you can get thinner. So this is actually the 5mm in width. So it doesn't take long to make this. There we go. Now, just before I assemble the box, I'm just going to check the measurements of the box, because when we make the lid, I need to know what size I'm making. So it is 1 3/4 in width, so I'll just write that down. 1 3/4 by that is 3 inches. Okay, now what you need to do is actually add an 1/8 on to each of these, so that will be 3 1/8, and this is 3/4, which is 6/8, so that will be 7/8. Okay, I think I've done that right. Let me just check on here. So that's, yeah, there we go. So I've added an 8 onto that now. So that will be the internal bit that I need. And then I will decide how big I want my overhangs in a minute. So I've just done that prior to actually fixing my box together. So I'm just going to take off my release tapes from all the sides. So I think this is rather pretty colour. I'm loving the Fresh Freesia. It's my kind of colour. I just think it's so pretty. There we go. And now just going to grab my glue, and I will put glue on the rest of the tab. So the tab's here, and I'm going to put glue on the rest of the tab, and then just put these together like that, and then again put the glue on there and put these together like that, and then put some glue on here and put a side up there, and then this last side we have to tuck it in, tuck it in, and put the glue on the tab. We put the glue on the tab, and then just make sure we've got that married up there. Okay, and then I just go in with my bone folder and I just rub those down just to get those nice and adhered. Okay, I'm just going to go over these bits that I've put of the release tape, and then I'll just get that up on each of them. Let's see how good this is to get it up. That's good. And it's quite sharp, this one, so it does do it rather well. So there we go. Let's see, bend it back so that I can pick that off there. That's it. And the last one, and let's just bend it back to get oops, see if I can do it at the edge. Put it down there. There we go. That's it. So now we're just going to bend those in. So we'll bend those around like that, and then just go in with your bone folder to crease those down. Same with that one. Just bend them in and crease that down. Bend that in and crease that down, and then the last one, bend in and crease that down. So that's quite a nice little deep box, so I'll show you what I'm going to put in that in a minute. Right, so now we're going to see what we need size wise we need to make our box lid. So I'm thinking that possibly we'll add 3/4 of an inch onto this. So if we've got add 3/4 to either side, and 2 3/4 make 1 1/2. So the 1 1/2, that's 1 1/2, so that's 4 1/2. That will be 4/8, 5/8. So I think that's 4 5/8. So I'll just check my calculations again in a minute. And if we've then got to do the same, we've got to add 3/4, which was the 1 1/2. So we've got to do 1 1/2, add our 1 7/8. So if we change this into the 4/8, then that is 2, that's 3 3/8. So let's just have a look at 3 3/8. Yeah, that's looking about right. And then the what was this, 4 5/8 is that. So I think so. I'll go for that size. So let's have a look. So it's 4 5/8. So we haven't got 4 5/8 that way. So we'll have to do 4 5/8 this way. So 4 5/8, is that what I said? 4 5/8. So we're going to cut it there at 4 5/8. Let's do that. 4 5/8. So I've got a piece of that, and then we've got by what does it say, 3 3/8 that side. So let's check that. So that's 4 5/8 by 3 3/8. Okay, and I've got that piece there left as well. Now let's have a look. Can we, let's have a look if that's there. Ooh, let's have a look. That, will that fit there? Will that fit there? It might. Let's have a look. Okay, so I'm going to take off my blade because we want scoring now. So I have done 3/4 of an inch, so I'm going to go for 3/4 of an inch now all the way round. So I'm doing 3/4 of an inch all the way round. So 3/4 of an inch and 3/4 of an inch, and we've done that. And now I'm again going to do my 1/4 of an inch. So let's do 1/4 of an inch and 1/4 of an inch and 1/4 of an inch and 1/4 of an inch. Let's see. There we go. And that's looking, yeah, that's looking about right. Okay, so now we're just going to go for the same. So we're just going to burnish all those score lines. So you'll note I do things different. Sometimes I burnish my score lines first. Sometimes I cut and then burnish. It's no right or wrong way. You do whatever feels comfortable to you. So we're going around all these score lines, make sure I've done them all. That's it. And now we're just going to do exactly the same again what I did. So I am going to cut up the score line. I am then going to wedge and then wedge. I'm then going to cut off the bottom there and then just wedge this tab here, turn it round, wedge this top bit here and then wedge this top bit here and cut down the score line. I'm then going to wedge the tabs on either side and then cut that little bit off there, turn it around, wedge this little end bit and then wedge this little end bit and then cut down to that score line, wedge the tab here and wedge the tab here, and then we will cut that one there, turn it around and wedge that one there, wedge that one there, then cut down your score line, wedge your little bits there and there, and cut your tab there, turn it around and wedge your last little bit. Okay, so again you can see I've got the windmill effect with the little tabs, so you can do exactly the same again. So I'm going to turn it to face me and then I'm going to put my little bit of tape on each of my tabs. So that's one, turn it round, do it. So I'll put this right up against the fold. Okay, so it goes right up against that fold, turn it around, right against the fold, and go, and again, right against the fold, sit. And then I turn it round and each of these tabs I put it along here. That's it. There we go, and here. So that's, oops, I've picked up something there. Am I going to be able to get it off? Possibly not. So I'll have to leave it there. Pick that up off something. Okay, and go on there and go along here. Cut that, and again this one, this one. There we go. And then with this tape, it's better if you just burnish these down to adhere it to the card, like this. And then I'll just do that on those little tab bits that I've done. That just makes it easier to fetch the release tape off. So I'll do same again. So I'm going to fetch all the release tape off here. Move it out of the way. It's terrible, this stuff. It sticks like mad. The static electricity, so sticks to you like mad. There we go. And then I'm going to pull that off and just wipe my glue off my hands a bit. And I'm just going to do exactly the same, where I stick a little bit of glue on the outside, bend the tab, bring these up together, so it goes there. Next one, put a bit of glue on the outside, bend that in, bring that round so it's there, do this on there, bring that round and bring that there. Again on this one, a little bit on the end and bring that round like that. And then we're just going to go in and just burnish each one of those down a little bit like that. And then just take the release tape off to do exactly the same what we did before. So that's flipping up and down. It's because there's static electricity. Just push that in. Burnish that. See if I can do it with my thumbnail. Yeah. So put that in. So push that down. Burnish that. And there we go. And that down. Let me use my take your pick tool. It's much easier with this. I can get the end of it because it's near the edge. Come on. That's it, come up, that's it. And then that's going to be like that. And then just do that. Okay, so hopefully now there you go, perfect fit for your lid. And now I thought I would use this, but I'm going to cut this. So there's a lovely rose on here, so I'm going to actually go down the leaves and across here, and I'm just going to go for cutting around my rose. Now this is difficult because my light's going a bit. I'm hoping this is going to film all right because I'm now struggling to see. So I'm hoping that it will film all right. Now let's see. Yeah, I think we can just get that in. So I'm going to go round here, going round my rose. Hoping I'm in your camera shot. It's difficult for me to see, so I'm going around there. So I've cut out that bit. There we go, I've cut out that bit, so I've still got all of this left yet, and I'm going to place this on top here. So gonna go for actually just putting it straight down. I'm going to slide it about a little bit on my box to get the glue to just spread out a little bit. Okay, and then to fill it up, I decided I wanted to stick some heroes in here. So let's pick some heroes and see what we can get in. Will they fit that way? Yeah, oh, they'll fit that way. So will a crunch will go in there, and that. Will that fit on the top? Let's see if there's a flatter one. I know there's a little, oh, little eclairs. Let's see, little eclairs. So let's see if that will go in there. No, might have to look. We've got anything flatter. That seems a bit flatter, the double decker. Can we get that down the side? I think we can get that down. So you've got 4 little treats in there. So you could play around and find out if any others will fit like that. Then I'm going to use my thread. So let's see if we can wrap round and tie a little bow. So let's do I don't want too small a bit, so let's do about there, and let's wrap this round and let's tie a little bow. It's really hard when you've got the camera in the way where you normally wouldn't have anything, so trying my best to keep everything. Oh no, slipped with that one. Try again. In fact, I'll try it in the centre rather than doing it at the edge. I'll try it in the centre, and then rather than tying it on one edge, it might just work for me better. Yeah, and then I can slide it down to the end where I wanted it, and then just take my bow a little bit smaller like that. Okay, like that. I can sort that out in a minute. And then I thought, let's do a little tie. Now remember, we've got one of these. Shall we use that, or do we want to go very small? First of all, I'm going to get the stamp set, and let's have a look. Thanks, let's have a look. So will the thanks actually fit on here? It will. Let's see. I think I might just stick thanks on. So just going to get my thanks. Mount this up on my little board. Now, tip for you, I've never used this before, so I rub on the back of my hand because that fetches some of the coating off. And then I will also, once I've got my ink, I will ink up. And I think that looks as though it's going to be good. So do that, and didn't pull it out, did I? So let's do that. I'm just going to stick this down here. There we go. So I'll stick that down there and take this out. And let's see if we can go up there a little bit. So I am going to cut a little bit off this now. So I'm going to cut that little bit off, and then I'm going to use my piercing tool, and I'm going to pierce a hole in this. So hopefully I don't stab my fingers. Now let's just do that round. I have actually got, ouch, yes I did get myself. So I'm just using my piercer tool. I'm just making a nice hole in that, and then I'm just going to thread this through here. Can't thread that through. So I'm going to thread that through. And now I've actually tied this in a bow, I'm actually going to undo it again because I'm going to put the bow on top of here. So now I've decided to do that. I'm going to re-tie the bow. So take that, let's get that out of the way. Put that round, do that, and okay, so I've got a nice little thanks, and can position that at the end, so that goes over there. We need to pull this down a little bit to tighten it. Let's keep going with that. Okay, span that little way like that. I think that works, just to make my little bow a little bit smaller, and then just cut these that little bit smaller. So there's a nice little gift to give somebody. So you've got the chocolates inside, as you've seen, and we've used some of the twine, so we've used the card to make that. Now, you did have some of this left, and by the sizing, it's a possibility that you will be able to line inside of this with these two pieces if you wanted to. I think I'll leave mine plain for now. I might go back at a later date and do that, but I just thought that's a lovely little box, a gift for somebody that you could give as a thanks. Okay, hope you liked that. Don't forget my hostess code if you want to shop with me. This is the Expressions in Ink paper pumpkin, and it's well worth it. I've showed you quite a lot so far of different things you can do with it. I've still got 2 more cards to go at, 2 more card bases. So I might do one more 3D project. I've got a card in mind that I'm also going to show you for the small one. So I'll be back another day with that. So thank you very much. Stay safe, stay well. Bye for now.